Okay, so now I want to go back to what we were hearing there from Noem. She says, in fact, she alleges that protesters were following ICE agents around as they were trying to carry out their work. I want to bring in the CBC's Hilary Johnstone. She was here in studio listening in to what we heard there from the secretary, the DHS secretary. Some interesting comments because she said the agent was acting according to his training that he's experienced. There was a question about whether or not he was suspended.
Right.
But he's at home with family. It was all we got on that.
That's right. That's what we heard from Kristi Noem, is that officer, according to her, went to the hospital after all of this happened yesterday because she says he was hit by that vehicle, but that he is now at home with his family. Kristi Noem also doubling down here on comments that, yes, we heard yesterday, calling what happened here with that 37-year-old woman, with her sort of the way she behaved in this situation, referring to that as domestic terrorism. That is something that we've now heard from Kristi Noem several times. She was asked how many years of experience this particular officer had. She would not go into details about that, only saying that he was experienced and also saying that he followed his training, and said that she is confident that once all of this is reviewed, that it will show that he followed his training. That was what we heard from the Secretary of Homeland Security. She also said, Kristi Noem, that 37-year-old woman, Renee Good, was demanded and commanded multiple times to get out of the vehicle and did not do that. She referred to the way that ICE responded to all of this as standard operating procedure. She started some of those remarks on this situation by saying that ICE officers at the time were trying to get a vehicle unstuck, a vehicle that had become stuck in the snow. Remember that we still don't know a lot about what had happened leading up to that video that Arthi was just going through. We don't know a lot about what some of those bystanders at the scene had been doing leading up to that scene that we saw play out in the video. But yes, according to Kristi Noem, that ICE officer went to the hospital and is now at home spending time with family. In terms of other news or updates that we have here, and Kristi Noem was asked about this, a few minutes ago, we heard from officials in the state of Minnesota, so state officials, saying that after all of this had happened yesterday, a decision had been made to open an investigation into all of this, along with the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI, and that they wanted this investigation to happen, to be coordinated so that they could investigate this in good faith. Remember that it was only a few years ago in 2020 when George Floyd was killed at the hands of a police officer not that far away, some 2 kilometers away from where all of this played out with Renee Good yesterday. And they said because of that, they wanted to have an investigation done that was transparent in good faith. But they say that they have now been notified that the FBI will be leading this investigation and that they will not have a role to play here, state investigators. They say that will mean that they will not have access to things like case materials, scene evidence, investigative interviews that they feel might be necessary in order to conduct a complete and independent investigation. Kristi Noem was asked about that, and she said that state officials in Minnesota, where all of this happened, she said that they have no jurisdiction in this investigation, and she also denied that they were cut out of this investigation. So certainly a lot to be following as we go forward here, Arthi, in the hours ahead.
And for our viewers, as you're looking at these images as well that we were showing while Hilary was detailing more of what we heard from the secretary, those were images of the protests that were sparked following this fatal incident. We know that there have been many. There have been clashes between federal agents and demonstrators as well. And the secretary was asked on whether or not we might see a surge of law enforcement in the state as a result of that. She did not answer. She said that's part of our operations and we're not tipping off people as to what we're doing, but that may be the case. With that, though, I do want to pivot also. We heard a question about the woman, this 37-year-old woman, this mother who was killed in this incident. Let's learn a little bit more about her.
That's right. So 37-year-old Renee Good, we are learning a few more details about her from family members who have been speaking with local media in Minneapolis, in particular the Minnesota Star Tribune. This is a photo of that 37-year-old woman. We know from family members that she had 3 children, 2 older children from a previous marriage, and then a 6-year-old son who she shared with a military veteran, a veteran who died in 2023, that 6-year-old boy's father, and now his mother, of course, this 37-year-old woman who died yesterday after everything that we saw play out there. We have also heard, this is actually from her own social media pages, she has described herself as a wife and as a mother and as a poet and as a writer. We know that she lived not that far away with her partner from this scene. And this is some images from yesterday near that intersection where she was shot. We have a statement here that we can bring you. This is from a university that she attended back in 2020. And this is what they are saying today, the Old Dominion University. Indeed, this tragedy reflects the deep strain being felt in countless communities across our nation. As citizens, it is our duty and right to call upon leaders and officials to restore civility in all facets of our lives, especially at the hands of those who are entrusted to protect and serve. And this is a look at the vigil from the scene last night. And we did hear from a civil rights lawyer earlier today on CBC News Network who attended this vigil last night and spoke about Renee Good. Here's what we heard.
From our understanding, Renee was simply there as an observer of ICE activity in the neighborhood and was attempting to drive off when an ICE agent got in front of her vehicle and opened fire, literally shooting her in the head. So they intentionally took a kill shot. You know, they could have shot a tire, but instead they shot a mother of a 6-year-old, a wife, and a poet.
And of course, we've heard a lot of reactions from lawmakers, both Democratic lawmakers and Republican lawmakers as well. And we can bet, Arthi, that we will hear more reaction from officials throughout the day.
No doubt. Thank you for this, Hillary. That is the CBC's Hillary Johnstone.